Welcome to another episode of the Peak Potential Success Show. My name is Fong, and today we have another great guest. She comes highly recommended by lots of people all around the world because she's very, very good at what she does, mainly helping people become more and more wealthy. She's been empowering entrepreneurs to build wealth, helping them overcome and break through barriers to create those pathways to generational wealth, utilizing strategies to scale and grow businesses, utilizing real estate to create that financial independence, streamlining their sales and marketing strategies, and something that we all eventually face, and that is helping them build credit and secure capital. So please welcome real estate investor, business strategist, speaker, and wealth mentor, Ms. Amanda Taylor.
Thank you. That was an awesome introduction. You said it all. I don't need to say anything else.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here. I always like to start off by saying, how did you get here? What was your origin story to become this person that's helping so many people become more and more wealthy?
So I was managing a dental practice for 15 years. So, totally, easy transition, right? And I got here totally by accident. I moved from Texas to Colorado and for my ex-husband's job. And when I got here, the dentist that I found was working 2 days a week because he was semi-retired. So, well, I got to find something else. And a woman told me, hey, my husband and his partner just started this real estate investing company. They need someone just to help them do paperwork. They don't like that part. Just a few hours a week. And I was like, well, I don't know anything about that, but I'm organized. I can do paperwork. And that was the rest is history moment. And, I got in there and I learned everything I could, even though I knew nothing. When they would say something, a an acronym I'm Googling over here and acting like I know what it means. And they're wholesaling and I don't know what that means. And I just figured it out and I learned everything I could from them. And fast forward, 8 years, I start my own company. They are now my clients and, I'm building my portfolio and then starting a business development company, which seems kind of out of place. But really what we're doing as business owners, helping entrepreneurs grow wealth. Yes, let's help you get your business up and running. Let's give you all the tools and strategies for that. And less than 10% of them have any type of retirement legacy exit plan. So why don't we teach you the tools and strategies that we've used through real estate, life insurance, and other plans to grow wealth? It's a win-win all the way around.
Right.
And now I just love teaching women, especially how to build the confidence in investing in any asset class, whether it's real estate or not. I don't care what it is. I'm completely agnostic in what you choose. I just want you to be educated, aware, and confident in all the ways that you can grow your wealth. So that's it in a very short nutshell.
That's not fascinating. Now, what was it like for you to transition? Like during that period of time when you're working your 9 to 5, and then all of a sudden you get pushed into this whole new world of real estate investing and doing the paperwork for that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you got your first deal and you're
Yeah.
managing that. How did you manage through that period of time?
It was honestly so natural. And that was the thing that got me was because, oh, I actually like this. I'm good at it. And it's enjoyable. It's not a drudgery to go get up and do this thing and go home because it was different every day. It still is. There's never been one day in my, career of doing this that has been the same or boring. That is for sure. So even, getting into just, the older you get, the more wise you get. And I'm like, this is what I should have been doing the whole time. But, it's just natural. It fits. It's how I'm best in my energy. It's how I flow. So really, I am wired to be the entrepreneur, the boss of myself. And I told myself for so long, I'm a worker bee. I'm a worker bee. I just tell me what to do. I'm a worker bee. I'm everybody's assistant. I'll do whatever you need. And I realized when I started doing all of this, I kept telling myself that, well, I'm just a worker bee while I was still doing it myself. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm a queen bee. I can do this. And it was just that mindset shift and really skyrocketed. That's how I got from real estate to everything else
Hmm.
because I was like, no, I'm a queen bee and I can do all of this. So it was It was a natural but internal transition.
Right. What was that first deal like? That very first property, how did you find it? What was it like? What was all the ups and downs?
It's, I'm like, which one was the first? Because I did my first one as a JV with one of my partners. And, that was, I think if we made $1, I'd be surprised. It was, flatline on that one. The first one I'll say I did by myself. Um, it felt so natural because I had been managing other people's projects for so long. I found it through a wholesaler who I had developed a, relationship with, and I had said so many no's to wholesalers before I actually bought a deal because they tend to overvalue and under rehab budget on things. And so I found one that I really believed was a great deal, and I bid on it and I got it. And it just, it went, and it was in the perfect neighborhood. I knew the area well enough that I'm like, this is gonna go. This is a great deal. And as always, you'll go a little over budget, but I knew from experience I was not coming in there green. I knew what to do. I knew my crew that I had worked with other people. So I was very lucky to have great mentors and great experience working with people who had trained me well. I had experience with the hard money lenders that I had worked with. They knew me and trusted me. So I knew what to do going in. Not everybody has that luxury. So, I say number one, when you're starting this, don't just watch YouTube. Find an actual mentor that you can work with, know, like, and trust that's going to guide you through the process because there are so many mistakes to be made.
Mhm.
So many mistakes to be made at every level of a project. And yeah, from the acquisition to the financing to the rehab to the disposition, it's at every stage. But no, I made a significant amount of money on that first deal. It felt great. And I've done several single families since. I love creative financing. I've never had $1 come out of my pocket to buy a property. And I want to continue to do that. I'm expanding into multifamily. We're looking at land development. We are leasing, we've gotten into gold mines, why not just move into gold mines in Alaska? So, it's just the possibilities are endless. Yeah.
That is very, very cool. So for somebody like yourself who's now venturing into so many different areas, you mentioned before about insurance as well and businesses and development and whatnot. For somebody who's, let's say, starting out, they're, let's say, in their 20s, they're going, hey, I want to get into this whole business slash investing world.
Mhm.
What's the first thing that you tell them? Is real estate still the best way to go? Is stocks the best way to go? What is it that you would kind of advise them with?
At the end of the day, you got to find what works for you. I love real estate. Is it always the best time to get into real estate? I mean, right now, it depends. That's my favorite answer for everything is it depends. I would, if I was 20 and I could go back right now and get a whole life cash value life insurance policy and start infinite banking, that would be my number one thing to do. I don't care where you get what vehicle you're using to run that through,
Mhm.
but that is the number one thing I would do because whatever you use it for to grow your wealth, that is where I would advise you to bank it. So I would say start infinite banking right now.
Mhm.
And then I mean, you want to talk about gold, precious metals right now because of where the stock market is. Yes, I would invest in that. And it's playing the game, right? There's always a strategy of where the market is right now. And, with real estate, if it's going to start going down, that's the perfect time to buy.
Mhm.
If you can get the right deal. So yeah, multifamily and rental properties are going to be great because people aren't going to be able to afford homes right now to buy and live in, until we get the interest rates, people to accept that interest rates are going to stay
Mhm.
higher than they were at the 2 and the 3%. Um, Rental properties are a great investment because people have to have a place to live, especially multifamily, things like that. So I love real estate. I love infinite banking. I love buying and selling of businesses. If you can get a good seller finance deal on a cash flowing business that you can come in and bring value into and increase that revenue, I think that's a huge opportunity right now for all of the, baby boomers who are trying to exit their businesses. There's a ton of opportunity out there if you have the right strategy to go into it in the acquisition. And that is the key is, do you know how to get the right deal on whatever it is that you're buying?
So, having said that, when it comes to real estate, then, what are some of the key matrices that you look at when it comes to buying and investing in a cash flowing property?
Really, my goal is to get it with A, no money out of my pocket, and B, it has to cash flow. So I look really hard at how much am I going to pay every month and how much is it going to get in rents every month? Obviously, what's my cap rate? What am I going to be spending every month on this property? And I have to look at, can I get it seller financed? Can I get a good sub two deal? Can I get something that's going to lower my payment? What am I going to do to be able to lower my payment? I've done joint venture partnerships where can you bring the money or the credit and I'll do the rehab, and that way we lower our cost and we get the rents and we split the profits and all those things. What is the best way for me to acquire this property that's going to ensure that it cash flows and appreciates? What's the market around that area to make sure that it appreciates? Whatever we do, how long are we going to hold it? Is it going to be a good opportunity to eventually, no matter how we get it, do a DSCR, pull out some equity and go do that again? I mean, it's the typical Burr method that everybody uses. It's just how are you going to get it in the first place and get it up and going? And
Now,
I've done it lots of ways.
you said a lot of things there, like seller financing and partnerships and joint ventures and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people who start out go, "Well, that doesn't work," or "You can't do that. Why wouldn't we already do that kind of stuff?" Or "I can't get lending from the banks." What was your strategy to get all that? Like
Yeah.
basically getting that capital or securing that credit. What are some
Mhm.
of the strategies that you
Yeah.
utilize to make that possible?
Yeah. I don't even go to banks. Like a bank's never going to give me any money. Um, I even tried to assume my home mortgage from my divorce and they wouldn't give it to me because I don't have a W-2. And I only owe $50,000 on this house, mind you, that's worth way more.
Uh,
Anyway, so bank's never going to give me any money. I've never used one. So establishing good relationships with hard money lenders. And if you don't know any, you need to be out networking and finding some in your local real estate investor associations. Um, so I have good hard money lenders that I work with who could also be partners in JV deals. I've worked with them to where, hey, how about I pay you a lower interest rate on the hard money, but I give you some equity on the back end and of the cash flow. Just let's see how that works. Debt is cheaper than equity, though. So sometimes I regret that if it makes a lot of money. And then as far as credit lines, we call it Frankenstein funding. I'm going to trademark this because everybody likes it. We use credit lines. Now, I want to separate business and personal expenses as much as possible. So we get business credit lines on an EIN for an LLC, and we utilize that. You can get credit card stacking like that at 0% interest from 12 to 24 months. You can either use that credit for a rehab on a project if you want and pay it off when the project's done. You can liquidate those credit lines to get the cash for a down payment. Again, back to the life insurance policy, I use that as well, borrow out of that to do either the rehab or the down payment on a house. Use those hard money strategies. And then I have, strong lending partners who specialize in all non-qualified mortgages, loans, private money, um, funds, things like that, because, like you said, banks, I don't even factor that into the equation because I know that it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to do that. Now, if you can get pure EIN credit that has no personal guarantee, it takes a while to build up, but it is really great for real estate investors because a lot of the higher tier credit profiles are Home Depot, which I'm in there a lot, and fuel cards, which if you're going back and forth to projects and meetings and all these things, you can use these fuel cards. You build up your Paydex score, which is like your EIN's FICO, and you can get to where you have bank lines of credit anywhere up to $250,000. It just depends. And that's something that you can actually utilize a bank line of credit to borrow out of for whatever you need. So it's all about strategy, knowing where to go, and how to utilize different tools to put them all together, to, we say, make the most with the least in the shortest amount of time and with the least out of your pocket.
That's always the best way.
Yeah.
No, when it comes to that, a lot of it has to do with your ability to persuade, convince, inspire the other person to at least trust and put money into your project and whatnot. There's lots of people out there who are, let's say, just starting out. They
Yeah.
don't have that experience yet. They may be able to do the numbers, they may be able to do a whole bunch of other stuff, but the experience isn't there. They're still very young. What can they do to get into it? Because it's going to be difficult for somebody to go, yeah, I'm going to give you hundreds and
Yeah.
thousands of dollars on in this project that you're just showing me, but you don't have the experience of making it successful. So what's the way for them to navigate through that?
Yeah. I've done some hard money lending myself. And what I do with them is, if I've done some with people that was their first deal. So it really is about knowing and trusting them. If you're involved in, again, those RIAs, it's all about relationships. I say this when I'm working with small businesses and entrepreneurs. I'll say this when I'm working with real estate investors. You can't just walk in and ask people for money. That's not how this works. In life, we have to establish some sort of rapport, relationship, trust with people. So be in those circles, get to know those people, learn from them, talk to them, show them what you know, and ask questions. That's how you get to know people. And then when you have a deal, the best way to get people involved in your stuff is to ask them what they think. What do you think? What would you do? Get their expertise. You're so great at this. How would you structure this deal? I found this deal. Get them to tell you how they would do it and if they would do it, and say, well, I really think that we could put something together on this. If that's how you would do it, I would love to partner with you on this deal. Do you think, what would I have to do to be able to work with you on this? So you make it like, how would you do this? You're so great at this. You're so experienced at this. I would love to work with you and learn from you. I know you've got the capital. We've talked before. I would love to learn from you. How do we do this together?
That
Schmooze.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best ways of at least breaking that ice. Because
Yeah.
I have some clients who say, how do I get this deal in front of this person, and how do I partner up with that person? I'm like, well, ask them to role play it with you. Ask them
Yeah.
to be the devil's advocate to rip apart the deal and see if you're one able to get through all that, and then two, maybe they go, oh, you got a point.
Exactly. And if you can do I have a pretty detailed spreadsheet that I'll run it through, but if you can do the napkin math with them and they can see that even on a napkin, makes sense to keep talking, they're gonna look at the dollars.
Hmm.
They are. And if you're talking in your local market, most of the lenders that I work with are very cautious about where they'll invest. I know there are people that will invest anywhere, and good for them, not for me. But they want to be able to know the market that they're lending in, so that if something happens and they end up with that property, they know what's happening. So they're pretty well versed in the area. They can analyze that deal really well with you. Other people, it depends on, where they invest and what they know about the market, and, how they can help you analyze that deal.
Exactly. Now, for someone like yourself who's been through a lot of different real estate deals, been very, very successful in buying and selling businesses, I'm sure you've gone through ups and downs, failures, and lots of learning experiences. What is one that sticks out in your mind that goes, wow, that was the largest, best learning experience that I've ever gone through?
So we bought an RV park, um, which I still fully stand by and will do again. However, I will do a better job of location, and this one had a restaurant. I will never, ever buy, even in business, like I tell my clients, like, no restaurants, no restaurants, don't do a restaurant. Yet I bought an RV park with a restaurant thinking, oh, well, this will serve the people on there. They'll stay there, they'll spend more money. It was the biggest, awful headache ever. I want to buy an RV park so that I can cash flow the land, and that's it. And let the land appreciate until I can then either develop it because the area around it has grown up, or sell it to a developer. That is my ultimate goal. But buying this one, we didn't have it in the right location. It was too far. It was on a lake, so it was very popular during the fishing season in Texas. It was great for fishing tournaments. However, it didn't have the year-round capability to cash flow. The restaurant was a headache, and we just need something that can have more draw and have those long-term, like have people live there if you're going to have something that cash flows year-round. So I learned a lot of lessons on that. And we ended up selling it. I did lose money on it. That's fine, but I will take it because at the end of the day, while we were there, we went in and built a brand. And now we have a brand that we're going to take and go now with what we know, find the right areas without restaurants, that we're going to be able to go find land in places that are going to be able to have more attractions year round, in areas that are going to develop, that we can really get land that appreciates, that we can build multifamily on eventually, or sell it to someone who will. So,
Having gone through all that, you've made your life lessons, you've gained from all the failures. Do you still work with like mentors and coaches yourself
yeah.
that helps you overcome certain things?
Oh yeah, I'm a business coach. I have a business coach. I still go to my real estate mentors with deals and have them go through it with me. Like, I tell everybody, my clients, you can't read the label from inside the jar. And if you are too close to it, please bring somebody in from the outside to see your blind spots and to, because you'll get shiny object syndrome when you get a deal that you think, like, oh man, I have been waiting for this. And you need somebody to come in and just show you, just ask questions. Like you said, play devil's advocate. What if? Have you thought about? And so people ask me to do that for them, and I ask others to do that for me, because if we're going at it alone, we're going to miss a lot of things. So yes, I have coaches, I bring in mentors, I ask my trusted advisors and peers all the time.
Was there something that one of your coaches or mentors told you that was completely shocking to you?
Completely. Well, I this has nothing to do with real estate or anything, but I have everybody keeps talking about energy and frequency and all this stuff, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. But I started studying, and it's like how you come off to people, and I was so I'm a very high energy person, and obviously I got a lot of stuff going on, and they're like, people can feel your energy and what you're putting out there. And I was like, well, and I was like, okay, well, I want to make sure that people get a good experience when they interact with me. So I want to make sure that I'm in my right energy and headspace, so that it's not all about, I want people to know this isn't about how much money can I make, how many properties can I acquire, how many businesses can I buy and sell. I truly am passionate about changing what it is to be wealthy in this country, because we have this stigma of filthy rich and eat the rich and, wealthy old white guys. And I believe that this country was founded on the entrepreneur and the small business owner, and just the grit and the passion and desire and insanity that we have to keep doing this, and that we have so much opportunity that we don't even know about, because our head is so focused on getting through the day to day. And so I truly am passionate about showing people all the different ways you can just do something different and take another tool or strategy to just accelerate what you're already doing, what you're already passionate about, to just exponentially grow your wealth, not just for you, but for your family, for your community, for everything, so that it's not just about income, but it's about impact. And so, if I come across as, money, wealth, growth, things, it's all about impact. And that, I want that to come out in what I'm saying as well. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Well, that leads on to the next question I have, and that is, how does one keep that energy up? Because it's all about that. If you don't have the right energy, the phone conversations don't go well, the Zoom conversations don't go well, the relationships don't get built. How do you maintain your energy on a daily basis?
Um, I say no a lot. But this truly excites me. The things that I do truly excite me. And if it doesn't excite me, I say no, I say not right now. I give it to my assistant. I delegate and I set boundaries.
Mm,
There are weeks that I have my calendar open for anyone 7 days a week, and then I realize, okay, I'm done with that, and I'll shut it down for 3 weeks because I am constantly podcasting, speaking, writing, connecting at conferences, traveling. And I love that. And it does give me energy, but we all need to refill our tank now and then. But it truly is about setting boundaries, delegating. I have a ton of systems and automation in my business. Um, there's a lot of my business that runs in the background without me having to do anything.
mhm,
And that was key to keeping me present in what I'm doing rather than in the mundanity of the back office day-to-day stuff.
mhm.
So yeah, and love what you do. If you don't love it and it's not giving you life and energy and it's draining you every day, do a true evaluation on what it is that's not working. Is it something that you can fix and you want to fix? And if not, maybe look at a different way of doing what you really want to do.
Mhm. Would you say that that advice would be more set for someone like yourself who's already successful in that realm, or is that the same kind of advice you would tell somebody who's just starting out? And the reason why I'm saying that is because you started off by saying I say no a lot, and I understand why. Because time is precious, you have to control your energy. But I remember way back when I first started, if I said no a lot, I'd be closing a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Therefore, at that moment in time, it's like say yes a lot and go, yes, what's infinite banking? Yes, what is real estate? Yes, what's business? And
And
that's
I
hard.
will say I say both because people will ask me to do stuff that I've never done before, and I'll say yes before I even know what it is I just said yes to. So I guess it's a balance.
Right.
You're right. I People ask me all the time, "Do you want to do this thing?" I have no idea what they're talking about, but it's someone A that I admire and respect and know that they know what they're doing. So I'll be like, "Yeah, what are we doing?" Tell tell me what that is. I would love to do that with you. And I get what you're saying in the, you know, tell me what to do, I'll figure it out. And I did start that way. They're like, "Here, go source these wholesale deals." And I'm like, "I don't know what that means, but I'll go figure it out."
It's like,
And as far
wholesale
but
deal, what's that?
yeah, Google what is wholesaling? And then, LTV, Google LTV. I don't know what this means. Um, but I had the energy for it because I loved it and I was excited about it.
Mm,
So that's still the same answer.
right.
I was excited about it. And so it didn't matter how many hours I worked or how many days of the week I worked. I didn't have a stopping time
Mm,
or a stopping point because it didn't feel like work.
right.
It didn't feel like a job. It was just a lifestyle. And if somebody's really in this, if they're going into it because, hey, I heard real estate's a really good way to make a lot of money. Um, yeah. And if you're not excited about it and you're only doing it for that one reason, you're probably going to get burnt out and tired. So find the life in it, find the energy in it, find the purpose in it, and then you're going to be able to say yes to more. You're going to be able to push through to more. Um, you're going to be able to expand time, and it's somehow all going to work out, and you're going to find the time and the energy to do it.
You mentioned before that you work with some up and coming real estate investors who's probably looking for their first deal and whatnot. And now you're also talking about they have to show the passion, the excitement, the energy that they actually love or want to love this whole new world of real estate and business. There are some people out there who doesn't express energy and excitement the way that you do. What do you look for when like up and comers come up to you and go, "Hey, I'm interested," but they may not have the same energy level or excitement level that you're used to.
Are they asking questions?
Mhm.
Do they show up? That's it. Are they showing up? Are they asking questions? Are they curious? That's it. If they're curious and they want to know and they're asking questions, that shows their level of excitement. They
Right.
don't have to be bouncing off the walls and showing up at 5 a.m. club, things like that. I'm a student of human design, and everybody has a different level of how they show up in the world. And I'm not here to say that one is better than the other. I'm a generator, meaning I can generate energy and I can go all day. Not everybody's like that. But the key is being curious. And the curiosity is what creates the energy in whatever form that takes. So as long as you continue to be curious about what you're doing, I'm always learning every day about something. That's what it takes.
Awesome. Great answer there, and something I kind of expected you to say because like lots of people out there are they come across very like emotionless, yet they tell you in words like, "Yeah, I'm very excited." I'm like, "Are you really?" Because I don't feel it at all. But they're asking the questions, they're engaged, which is something that I do look for as well. However, I'm going to ask you this: do you find that people are more like the people who are more outgoing, who are more expressive? Do they do have any benefits to that? Is there more advantages because they're that type of energy that they have?
You know, I saw an Instagram post from Cody Sanchez, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a Main Street millionaire, buy boring businesses. She's a pretty big influencer. And she posted that women who are pretty make more money and wear makeup and all this stuff. Men who are attractive make, and I was so like offended by it. And I mean, it's a statistic proven fact, and I hate it. I hate everything about it. But what I'm saying is the people that it doesn't matter what you believe or what you want to be true in the world, the people that come in and take up the most space in the room get the most attention.
Mhm. And,
Whether they're the smartest,
mhm,
whether they know the most, whether they're the most successful. And but I'll take that too. Charlie Munger was the brains behind the operation, and half the people that, well, not more than half the people didn't know who he was when it comes to he and Warren Buffett.
mhm.
Was he out there waving his flag and saying, I'm the smartest person in the room? But he did pretty well for himself.
Right.
So I can't answer that question.
No, it also comes down to playing the game, right? If you want to be in that world, you sometimes have to play within those rules, playing those games. And some people are going, well, that's not me. I feel not authentic, but they're trying to stretch. How
No,
how would you play with that?
no, absolutely not. Speaking of human design,
Mhm,
if you don't know about it, go study it. I'm a big proponent of it. If you're trying to fit yourself into someone else's mold just because it works for them, you're going to fail every time. And I really feel like you have a way about when you say that's not me, own that and find what is you and move within that. And that's when things start to flow for you. Because I've tried several ways to go, follow that coach and their method and what they say you should do. And it may work for a minute, but I can't sustain it because that's not me.
mhm,
So you don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to do it the way someone tells you to do it. You have to do it the way you're wired to do it. And
mhm.
if that takes some investigating internally to find out what that is for you, do that work. Don't try to be somebody else.
I love that answer, and that's something I highly recommend lots of people do is because if they're no longer themselves, if it's felt. It's felt within those videos, it's felt within those conversations. But the thing is, don't disregard it altogether, right? You take the basis, the foundation of what the coaches and all the mentors are saying, and let's make it your own. Give it your
Exactly.
own twist, and then all of a sudden, hey, you might have something completely new. So
Yeah.
I really, really love that answer. What are you looking for now? Like, what's the next big thing? What's the next big exciting thing that's coming up for you?
Well, I'm going to launch my own podcast. So very shortly, hopefully. And I'm building a community. I've started my Expand Your Empire community, specifically because I feel like women are undereducated, underconfident when it comes to investing. Until 1974, we couldn't get a credit card without a man's permission. And it is a systemic, just belief that this is an area that we can't play in. I've been to, I don't know how many, real estate investor meetings where I was the only woman in the room. And I know there are a lot of us out there. I'm not saying like I'm the only one out here playing this game. Not at all. But there's the greatest wealth transfer in history is about to happen, and women are going to control the majority of that money. And I think we need to be prepared for what's happening in that we have so much to learn and be confident about before we take control of these assets and this money to use it wisely, to invest it wisely, to align with our values. And whether that's real estate, precious metals, infinite banking, crypto, the stock market, venture capital, private equity. I work with all of those on some level. And I just want education because education and intimidation have an inverse relationship. And if we can just learn the basics of all of these, find out where we fit in our risk tolerance and our liquidity. You don't have to have millions of dollars to start doing this, just start learning. And you find your way, not somebody else's way. Find your way to get plugged into whatever it is that works for you and start growing and protecting wealth for yourself and your family.
Awesome. So what are you looking for?
What
Like
am I looking for?
when it comes to building your podcast, when it comes to clients, what is the ideal client? What is the ideal partner that you're looking for?
Yeah. I look for entrepreneurs, small business owners who are stuck at that six-figure mark. They are treading water every day. What we have is a coaching program that we have a mindset coach. We have essentially a fractional CFO. We bring in sales and marketing automation, all the tools to help you stop leaking revenue, really fix your cash flow problems and your profit margin and get your systems in place so that you're no longer treading water, you're actually becoming more profitable. And then guess what we do with that profit? We don't reinvest that in the business, unless we need to do it strategically. We take that outside of the business and we teach you how to invest that in whatever vehicle makes the most sense for you. So it's a very holistic approach to business coaching because, most of the blocks are right up here that are keeping you from getting to that next level, but scaling your business, making it work for you, and then taking those profits and investing them outside of the business is key to growing both your business and your personal wealth. And so any business, that's my goal is get you out of that hustle and grind. It's necessary when you're starting, like you said, but when we're pouring all of our personal funds and every bit of profit back into our business, that is not sustainable. That is not scalable. And that is not why we started a business. That is not why we became entrepreneurs. We wanted a life outside of the business. So let's help you build that. That is what our coaching program is all about at our Metropolis Business Development. That's what we do. And it's a great honor to work with these companies and help them really learn the business of running a business and then take it even further.
That is awesome. Lots of exciting things coming your way, and I'm really, really excited to see what's coming in the next few years here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was an honor
Awesome.
being here.
Now, before I let you go, I got five quick rapid fire questions for you. Give me the first thing that comes to mind. You're stranded on the desert. Yeah, you're stranded on a deserted island. One food to eat for the rest of your life, no consequence.
Hummus.
Thomas. That's the first time I've heard that. Um, Hollywood calls and says, "Hey, we love your story. You're very inspirational. We would love to do a biopic of you. Who would you cast to play you?"
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal shows up at your door and goes, "Hey, I got casted to play you. Let's hang out." What does that night look like?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. It just starts with an old fashioned. I don't know.
Well, she's also hungry. And you go, "Hey, no problem. Come on back to my place. I'll fix you something that's my specialty." What's that special dish?
Chicken saltimbocca.
Very, very nice. And lastly, give me a number from 1 to 5.
4.
One, two, three, four. So the word is wig. And if you had to use the word wig as a metaphor for success, how is success like a wig?
You have a choice to put it on every day and wear it well. There you
Nicely
go.
done. Nicely done. So that's how success is like a wig. Any final thoughts, comments from you, and also what's the best way for people to reach out?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Amanda Taylor Biz, B-I-Z, expandyourempire.org. And I'm just really excited to be here today. I know you're doing great things, giving great information to people trying to grow their wealth, grow their business, grow their real estate portfolios. So keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate being here.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. For everybody, if you're looking for somebody to work with you with regards to growing your business, growing your capital, growing your wealth, real estate expert, all that great stuff, Amanda is the person to chat with. So make sure you reach out to her. Until next time, today is the day to lock the peak potential. We'll see you later.